And we're live! Hi, everyone! Welcome to our brand new series called The 7 Essentials to Transform Your Life. I'm Melissa Milotti. I am the host of the NamaSLAY podcast. And of course, that is where I had the fabulous Barun Gorain on the show. And we connected, and I just loved his energy. And we decided to get together and create this new show. So I'm so happy to have you here, Barun. So why don't you take it away and introduce yourself? And
Yes, no, thank you very much, Melissa. I think it's fantastic to be back in the studio again. So it's fabulous. And it's a beautiful day outside as well. The sun is shining. So.
Gorgeous. I love it. It's so warm, right?
It is.
It feels like summer.
Yeah, back to summer. Anyway. So just give you a context as to what this is all about. As I said before in the previous episodes, that this book that was released recently, so that's the book.
The 7 Essentials to Transform Your Life.
Yes.
This book, you mean your book.
Yes. So just to give you some background, I am actually an engineer and a scientist. And I've been working in the field of technology for the last 25 years, focusing on bringing new technologies to the resource sector. Now, what I found that technologies actually have been a boon to the humanity. Look at the comfort, the convenience, and the ease of living. It's fantastic. It's just great. But unfortunately, Melissa, if you look around, there's so much of stress, depression, and all kinds of health issues. Physical, mental, emotionals, which begs the question that technologies are supposed to make our life better, happier, and healthier, yet the opposite seems to be true.
Absolutely.
So this really intrigued me for a long period of time. And again, what I found that in the corporate world, where I was working for the last 20, 25 years, what I found that many top professionals will be asking the same question. They had a wonderful schooling, education, career. They made some good wealth for themselves, for the family, yet they're not happy, they're not fulfilled, and their health is not good either, even though they say they have been doing all the right things. In fact, I felt the same for myself as well at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense as to why you were inspired to do this.
And then that's when my journey began to really understand why we have all these challenges in our modern society, despite all the technologies, are supposed to do for us. So that's when my journey began. I traveled across 6 different continents, worked in various countries, interacted with various professionals, non-professionals, farmers, people on the street, even yogis and monks.
Right.
To cut the long story short, what I found that based on research and personal experimentation, that there are 70 essentials that are fundamental to human living. If you're not connected with these 7 essentials, doesn't matter how rich you are, how famous you are, and how educated you are. It is very unlikely you'll be happy and fulfilled and have a vibrant living. So what I did, I condensed all my research into this book, which Melissa just showed.
That's the hardcover. I've got the soft cover. It's the one with all the Post-it notes.
It looks like this has been.
There's been a lot of highlighting to it, some parts. Yeah.
I condensed my research into this book. Initially, it was supposed to be my notes. Then I realized, why don't I share the findings with everybody else so that everybody can actually get the benefit. Now, what I found that this book is something which is to really increase the awareness of these 7 essentials. And these 7 essentials that I have listed in my book are, first is breathing life, breathing life force. Second is hydration, water. Third is cosmic energy, like getting the sunlight or sunshine and putting your bare foot on the ground, earthing, and also sound vibrations. So number 4 is mindful eating. Now, it seems to me that we have forgotten the very basics of eating. So what I've talked about here is how do you bring the basics of eating into our livelihood? And then comes activities, physical, mental, and emotional. And then all about elimination of toxins. We're continuously building toxins naturally and unnaturally, artificially. So these toxins have to come out. So I talk about how to eliminate the toxins. And then comes how to bring everything inwards. And that's where the meditation plays a very, very important role. So what we'll do is we'll have 7 episodes. And in each of the episodes, we'll be talking about each of these essentials. So today we'll talk about life force, how to bring life force into our cells. How about that?
I'm so excited about it. Okay. Well, I first just also want to let you know that we have a comment section. So when people come in, they can leave a comment in the comment section. So hopefully we get a lot. Right now we have a couple. So Lucy says hi. Hi, Lucy. We have Brian Merkley. He says, hey, Melissa. Hey. And Raymond says, good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, Raymond. All right. So what I also want to let you guys know is that if you are brand new to the channel, if you can give this video a like and subscribe for good vibes, and you can obviously know when to come back for the next video, which is going to be next week.
Yes.
We're going to do another live stream. We're going to try to do 7 in a row. I mean, with the exception of the holidays, of course. But yeah, so there's going to be one essential that we're going to go over for each live stream. So like Barun said, today it's breathing life. So I'm very excited for it. So I prepared some questions for him. And as he is answering them, and we're talking about, breathing life and all the different specifics within this chapter, if you come up with a question, feel free to leave it in the comment section. And then when we've gotten to the end of my question part, you can go ahead and ask, and I will, of course, relay it to Barun, and he will, answer all of your questions. Cool. I may have told a lot of you guys on Lunchtime Sunshine, but as of last night, I officially got my full Reiki Master degree.
Congratulations! Wow, that's
cool.
Exciting.
Actually, I have a photo I kind of want to share with everybody. It's pretty cool, man. So I did do my degree. Technically, I had it last week. But I officially got the actual degree yesterday. So there I am. It's very exciting. So anyways, talking about life force and energy, Reiki is very on par with that. Sounds good to me, Master Mel. They started calling me Master Mel because I'm a Reiki master. And Numair, welcome. Congratulations for your degree. Thank you and welcome. Okay, so let's get into it. So like we said, the first chapter is all about breathing. It's called Breathing Life. So the first question I have for you is, why is it important to practice deep breathing exercises / what are the benefits?
Yes, that's a very fundamental question. I think this question everybody should be asking, because we take breathing for granted because it happens automatically. So we never pay attention to it. But unfortunately, in a modern lifestyle, we are actually creating a lot of problems in terms of maximizing our lung capacity. So as we're getting older, our lung capacities are actually going down. At the same time, there's so much of pollution all around that we're ingesting all kinds of pollutants. And what it is doing is actually making our lungs not really perform optimally.
If anyone understands that, it's Miss Asthma over here.
Okay, well,
as I've gotten older, my lungs, it's crazy. It's been, I want to be young again.
See, the thing about breathing is we don't really pay a lot of attention, but one thing we have to understand, very, very important, that we can live without food for days, weeks, and even months. People do fasting. We can live without water for days and maybe even weeks. People do dry fasting.
Whoa.
Yes. I mean, days for sure. Weeks, there are some people who does it. But without breathing, not even for a few minutes, we'll be gone.
Right.
That's the immensity of breathing. And we don't really pay attention to it. It just happens automatically. Now it has a tremendous impact on everything that we do. Why? Because when we breathe, we ingest oxygen, essentially, and some other gases too, nitrogen and carbon dioxide. But essentially, we are breathing in oxygen, and oxygen is required to produce energy, whether we eat carbohydrate, proteins, or fats.
Right.
So it is doing a tremendous amount of work for us, breathing. Now that's one. Second thing is oxygen that we breathe inside is doing a lot of healing inside us. Huge amount of healing. So I think if you really want to go back to the basics, the first thing we have to do is make sure that we're able to breathe well and make sure that we use the full lung capacity. That's where deep breathing is very, very important, to make sure that you maximize your lung capacity so that our body is always working at optimal.
I see. And I've heard that it's better to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, we're designed to breathe through the nose, not through the mouth.
Why is that though? Because then why do we all breathe out through our mouth?
I don't know how it happens because see, mouth is there to eat food, stuff like that. You're not supposed to breathe through the mouth.
I'm such a mouth breather. Like it really takes a lot of effort.
Yes. See, our nose is designed to breathe because we've got a lot of filters actually through the nose.
Right.
When the air goes in, there's a lot of filtration process happening through the nose. So the air that we breathe, air that we get into our lungs, has come through many filters. But that's not there in our mouth.
Right. So, that's so interesting. Yeah.
So yes, it's not normal. It's okay once in a while, but eventually I feel that in some of the yogic practices, it is forbidden to breathe through your mouth.
Wait, what?
Forbidden.
How can that be forbidden?
Because you basically wasted your energy, your capacity, energy, essentially. When you breathe through your mouth, it's not actually going to the lungs the same way that it should be going. It means that your blood is not able to get all the oxygen it needs. So there is a bit of an inefficiency built in when you breathe through the mouth. Anyway, so you're supposed to breathe through the nose.
Okay, wow. Wait, so what do you mean it's forbidden? Like, do they get in trouble?
No. I mean, there are some practices based on their own understanding. It's like a science, right? Once you understand the science behind something, why should you do something which is not really doing the best for you?
Sure, yeah. Ever since I heard that, I've been trying. You guys will know that watch Lunchtime Sunshine that I've been trying to be conscious of not breathing out through my mouth. But it's hard. I'm a mouth breather.
Okay,
it sucks. It's just practice. Yeah, it has to become a habit, just like anything.
Yes.
Okay, so do you have any specific deep breathing exercises that you would recommend?
Yes, I have actually put together a few different exercises in the book.
Okay.
But I think let's start very simple, because breathing is not very complicated as we make out to be. It's very simple. I think when it comes to deep breathing, the first thing is make sure that we are in a place where it's clean. The air is clean.
Right.
Go into the nature if possible. And if the air is clean inside your house, it's fine. So the simple exercise is breathe in deeply at a count of, say, 5 or 10. Say count of 10. Breathe in deeply, count of 10. And then hold for a count of 10 or 5. If you cannot manage 5 at 10, do 5. And then breathe out very slowly to count of 10.
Okay, so should we try that?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do that.
Okay, everyone ready? He'll walk us through it. I'll do it with you.
Yes.
Okay. And so we're going to breathe in for 10.
Yes.
We're going to hold for 10. We're going to try for 10. If you can't, go for 5.
5, yes.
And then breathe out for
10.
For 10.
But make it very
10,
slow.
10, 10.
Very slow.
Okay.
So that you see the whole idea about this book is to be aware.
Right.
So be fully aware of what's happening when you're breathing in. Are you feeling tired, exhausted, feeling good? So try to really be into those feelings. That's really important. That's the whole point of doing this.
Right, of course.
So let's do that.
Okay. All right. So, ready, everyone?
Okay, the other thing I want to emphasize, I think really this is very important.
Oh, sorry, I'm so excited.
When you're doing deep breathing, there's a reason why you should put your palm up.
Yeah.
Why? See, interestingly enough, that our breathing pattern changes by the way you move your hands.
Yes.
So when you put your palm up, everybody, and when you try to breathe in, see whether you're breathing through your chest or through your diaphragm.
Okay. The chest.
Just go the other way.
My stomach. You sound like you're snoring.
Okay. So typically what happens is when you actually put your palm up, essentially what happens is you're actually going for deep breathing up to the diaphragm. Whereas when you're putting your palm down, you're breathing just through your chest in general.
Oh.
So your breathing will be much deeper if you put your palms up.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I understand. Because I said chest, but it's more like your whole body.
Yes.
Whereas with it down, it's really just your chest.
Yeah, exactly.
I
so
see.
It's much shallow. When you're doing like this, it's shallow. So, the problem is we're moving our hands and legs up and down so many times, but our breathing patterns are constantly changing. So it's very, very important to make sure that you put your palm up when you're doing deep breathing exercises. So now we can go back to your.
Okay.
To that,
it's interesting because obviously in the spiritual community, when you're meditating, they will say to put your palms up,
yes.
But they say it also just to keep yourself open so that energy can flow freely through you and out you. But it makes the same sense.
So it's got a scientific basis to it, and it just comes through observation, observing your own body. So that's where I feel awareness is so important. So let's try the breathing.
All right. Okay. And breathe.
Start.
You can initiate.
Okay, let's start. Let's breathe for 10 seconds if you can. 5 is fine. If you can go for 5, that's fine. But let's try for 10 for the time being.
Are you going to count?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try. Okay. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hold for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay.
Oh, that was hard.
Yes. So try with 5 then. 5 is fine. So the whole idea is not to stress yourself out. This is something new. And when you hold the breath, because if you have too much of carbon dioxide build up, you might feel a bit dizzy.
Yeah.
But that's perfectly fine.
Okay. I see. So it is fine if you feel that way.
Yes. So I think just back off. And because your body is not used to having so much of oxygen inside, so it's best to just take it easy. But with practice, you'll find that you can hold for 10, 20, 30, even for a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd be able to do that in time. It's probably just from not taking my puffer today, that sort of thing.
Yeah, fine. I think nothing wrong with that. It's just that everybody has their own limit. We just have to understand what those limits are.
For us.
That's perfect.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So I guess you kind of walked us through the deep breathing exercise. Do you maybe have like a meditation that we could do?
No, meditation is a different ballgame. So what I would like to suggest is that we'll talk about the details of meditation in episode 7.
Okay, and then you can do a meditation then?
And I just want to give you a snapshot why meditation, we should not take it very loosely. Because meditation is not about sitting in a posture for 10, 20 minutes a day and do a chanting or some kind of a practice. It's not meditation. That's concentration or something else. But meditation has a very deep connotation, and we really have to be very serious when it comes to meditation. Because I'll just give you a 1-minute snapshot why I don't want to go into meditation right now. The different aspects, very, very important, including the 7 essentials. These are very important.
Okay.
See, what happens is we all have experiences, right? Every day we're experiencing. Those experiences become our memory, right? Now, from the memory, we are projecting thoughts. All the time we are thinking, and those thoughts lead to emotions, and the emotions lead to actions, taking actions every day. And those actions become our experience, becomes memory, becomes like a cycle.
Right.
So we are all trapped into this cycle of time, through our experiences. And which is actually very limited because our experiences are limited. It's projecting limited thoughts, biases. So when you're in this trapped into this cycle of time, essentially you are into conflicts. Conflicts are inevitable, and that's the reason why, as we grow older and older and still get trapped into that pattern, our life doesn't improve. We don't become any more happier. We get miserable sometimes. That's where stress, depression comes in. So meditation is all about shattering that cycle, breaking that cycle completely.
I see.
So that you can now tap into the intelligence that really matters. That's what life. So when you're trapped into that cycle, essentially you're having a lifestyle. You're not having a life. Not actually able to experience life. You experience your lifestyle, your career, your job, your personality, those kind of things happening. So essentially, we're all experiencing a lifestyle, not life.
Hmm.
But when you break that pattern, then all of a sudden you understand life better. That's my experience. Now, that's where I feel that we should have a discussion of meditation towards the very end.
Sure.
And what we're doing now is preparing for that.
Right.
So, sorry, I couldn't answer your question on meditation, but that's where I feel strongly.
Okay, great. We have to always go with what we're feeling. Absolutely. Yeah, okay. I want to just answer a couple of these comments or read them out. So Brian says, sorry, Melissa, won't be able to watch this live. My YouTube app is messing up. That's okay, Brian. Thank you for coming out. I hope you can get a chance to watch it later. I think this is already pretty awesome. Numaris asking if you're from India.
Originally from India, yes.
Originally from India, that's right.
Yes.
I do have a couple fans from India, which just makes my heart very happy. So. Lucy says, your distance Reiki has been so helpful. Oh my gosh, and supporting. That's amazing. Really started to feel the difference today. That's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that, Luce. And I'm glad that you're here because I feel like Barun will have a lot for you, a lot to say that you might benefit from. And Ray says, my eyes, getting old. My friend Monem from Morocco does fasting every year. Oh, cool.
Fantastic.
Very cool. And then Numera says, yes, I think he is Indian. Very cool. Good guess. Okay, so next question. So in your book, you talk about oxygen therapy. Could you tell us what that is and maybe give us some examples?
Yes. Oxygen therapy is it's like supplementary oxygen. When you need extra oxygen to enhance your life, or maybe trying to fight some infection. So it's called supplementary oxygen. So that's where oxygen therapy has been very popular. But obviously there has been some issues in terms of using it for medical reasons. Right? And there are 3 ways. Okay, the first thing, the best oxygen therapy is go out in the nature.
Okay.
And breathe deeply, and just enjoy and, what do you call it? Sometimes, what do you call it? Shout, and sometimes do running exercises, lots of physical work that automatically, will let you breathe deeply and you can have lots more oxygen.
What if it's minus 20 degrees?
Try to go out as much as possible.
Okay, so you still go out when it's really cold?
Yes, I mean, minus 30, minus 4 doesn't matter. I have to go out in the morning and in the evening. Okay. And I live very, very close to the Cherry Beach and Tommy Thompson.
That's right. I remember you telling me that, yeah.
And I go there, no matter what,
Wow.
So now I'm dragging my wife as well, and she's loving it.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's loving it. And I think it's natural because once you get fresh air, and then when you go back home, it's like, oh, it's too warm,
Yeah. I see. And so you're getting your body moving. Cool.
Yeah.
I think I lost your train of thought there, though. You were telling us that. So that was the first way. What was the other?
So the best thing is to go out and breathe deeply. I think that's the best therapy you can do for yourself.
Okay.
Others are all more aided. That's supplementary. For example, hyperbaric oxygen. There's oxygen chambers there. In Toronto, I've been there before. So
really?
I had a long time ago, I had an infection and it was not going away with antibiotics. So what do? A lot of people actually have infections that doesn't go away straight away. But when you go into this hyperbaric oxygen chamber, where it's basically a chamber with oxygen is ingested with high pressure, slightly higher pressure.
Really?
Yeah, it's beautiful chambers actually, very nice. A lot of sports people go there. And yeah.
Oh, I could see, so they can recover faster.
Oh. Because what happens is I mentioned about body wants to produce energy only through oxygen. But if there's not enough oxygen, what happens is there's enough lactic acid buildup. And people who are sports people, they build up a lot of lactic acid, and that's not very good.
Right.
So you really have to neutralize it. How do you do that? You put oxygen in your system, extra oxygen. And then you neutralize those lactic acid. So sports people do that. People who have got concussions, they want to recover, they actually go to hyperbaric chambers.
Really?
Yes.
I've had a concussion. Maybe I need to go. I recovered, but
it's actually, if you're not feeling very good, if you feel that you have lots of infections and stuff like that, but not for medical reasons. You have to go to your doctor.
Of course.
I'm not actually giving any medical advice here.
Of course.
I'm just saying that this is something which is available, and do your own research to find out whether this works for you. So that's one, hyperbaric oxygen chambers.
Cool.
The second is ozone therapy, which is also a way to get oxygen into your body. And there are different ways of doing it. There's intravenous ozone therapy. But again, this is not for medical reasons, for some special reason. And the third is hydrogen peroxide.
Okay, I don't know ozone therapy or hydrogen
peroxide.
Yeah.
So ozone is basically, ozone is 3 oxygen, O3 ozone.
Mm-hmm.
And ozone actually is a very powerful oxidant.
Okay.
It can help to say if there is a lot of infection somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people I know their son actually had the bad ear infection.
Mm-hmm.
So they use ozone therapy to recover. But I'm not saying that's the only way.
Like you go to a place to have ozone therapy?
Yes,
or?
there are places.
Oh, okay.
It's called alternative medicine.
Oh, okay.
They have got ozone therapy.
Gotcha.
And some people actually keep a little ozone generator at home.
Oh.
And they get supplementary oxygen.
Cool.
But that's not for getting oxygen for breathing, but actually for certain application.
Sure. Okay. Interesting.
And third is hydrogen peroxide, which is again is very active, and it can be used to disinfect for disinfection. For example, if you have a very a lot of mold in your place, moldy place, and if you want to reduce the impact of mold in a household, you do some peroxide therapy, ozone therapy. It's very effective that way. And in at home, what we do is we take a little bit of food grade ozone, not ozone, sorry, hydrogen peroxide, and put in your diffuser along with some essential oils, and you get beautiful oxygen and aromatherapy kind of thing.
Wow, I wish I knew that when I was in my old house. We had really, really bad mold. We had to move because it was that bad. Yeah. And we all developed bad allergies. But I wish I knew about that.
Yeah, I mean, don't kid around with mold.
We had to move. Yeah.
Mold, you have to get rid of it.
Yeah.
It has pretty severe implications.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that's probably how I ended up developing asthma and I'm like allergic to everything, guys, like trees, grass, pretty much everything. So I lay on the grass and I start getting itchy. It's so frustrating. So all I want to do is just meditate on the grass, breathe in that oxygen.
Yes.
Won't let me.
Just breathe in oxygen as much as possible.
Yes. Lucy says, I feel so young again in this conversation. Oh, well, hopefully we could try to break it down in a simple way so that you understand. You're not that young, Lucy, and you're very smart. So, all right. So in your book, you also talked about fruits and vegetables that can help with oxygen intake. Do you have any examples on that?
Yes. So certain fruits and vegetables, especially raw fruits and vegetables, some of them have got very high oxygen content, and can help you neutralize some of the acids that you have in your system.
Oh.
And based on my experience, some of the fruits and vegetables that are very high in oxygen content, one is beets or beetroots.
Oh, I hate beets.
Okay. Second is blueberries.
Oh, I love those.
Very good. Okay. Figs. Okay. Well, they're very good.
I mean, figgy pudding.
Ripe olives. Ripe olives.
Oh,
no?
Can't stand
Okay.
it. I'm one of those people in the grocery store when I'm walking by the olive tray counter, I have to plug my nose every single time.
Oh, really? Wow.
I'm very sensitive to smell. Fish also,
Yes.
Can't do it.
Yeah, and some other like mustard greens.
Okay.
And onions are very good.
Okay.
Celery is also very good.
All raw.
All raw. Because see, the moment you cook it, then what happens is you destroy the structure of the water system.
Are you talking about when you cook it with oil, or is it the same when you steam the vegetables?
Steaming is okay, but I think here I'm talking about fruits and vegetables. So if you really want to maximize the oxygen content, I think it's good to go raw.
Okay, good.
Because you're not destroying the structure of the vegetables and fruits. You know,
Okay.
watermelon is very good. Watermelon is very, very good, especially in summer.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
And delicious.
Delicious too. So there are lots of, in fact, all fruits and vegetables, they've got high oxygen content because they've got water in there, and oxygen is part of water anyway.
Of course, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. And are there any specific like oxygen depleting foods that you would say to maybe try to stay away from?
Yes. So any food that generates a acidic residue should avoid it.
Okay. So like
for example, any processed food.
Right. Okay.
Alcohol, for example. Excess alcohol, beverage like those sodas and pops, which makes the body very acidic. Sometimes I feel that even processed meats, for example, or processed dairy can also increase the acidity. Now let's understand here. When you say acid, it means that your body has high hydrogen content, right? So you want to neutralize that. Otherwise, it will start dissolving your bones and stuff, bleach your bones. So what you do is the body is very intelligent. Body will find out oxygen coming from your raw vegetables, and it will neutralize that hydrogen and makes it H2O, which is water.
Right.
So body is smart. So that's the reason why I recommend some of the raw fruits and vegetables as part of a diet. Could be 30%, 40% of your diet, which can help to neutralize the acid that you build up in our system. So all processed food, I feel, they are acid generating. So
I mean, it's hard though.
Everything in moderation is okay.
Right. I'm glad that you said that. I was gonna say like balance usually is what I strive for. Because honestly, some days I just want Campbell's mushroom soup, and it's delicious.
It's fine. I mean,
and I will have a salad for dinner if I do that.
Yeah.
It's balanced,
But one thing we have to avoid is fried foods, because I find that to be the biggest offender, even worse than sugar.
Really?
Yeah, fried foods, because see the fats that you're generating from fried foods, decomposed fat, or the nature is denatured fats. Body doesn't know what to do with it, and that's the one which is leading to all kinds of inflammation in the system.
Oh, interesting.
Even worse than sugar, in my opinion, based on my experience. Even sugar is equally bad, but I think deep fried foods, if you can avoid, will be better off.
I see. I don't feel as bad now because I like sugar more than fried food, so at least I can justify it. But we're gonna aim to eat more fruits and vegetables, raw fruits and vegetables like that. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I had a little scenario. So perhaps you live in a condo, like myself, as most city goers do. How do you make sure we can help control our air purification? I know you mentioned plants in your book.
Yeah.
Do you have any other suggestions? Because I will just say, for example, in my condo, the condominium for some reason decided to turn off the air conditioning. So now all we have is heat or like a fan that is kind of blowing, dust, but we need it because it gets so hot.
Yeah.
So what would you sort of suggest in terms of how we can control the purification of the air?
Okay, so there are some air purifiers in the market, and they're actually quite good. And they're not very expensive either, a few $100s if you can invest.
Okay.
That's really worth investing. Because these air purifiers, they have got HEPA filters, HEPA, which is high efficiency particulate air filters. HEPA, just look for HEPA.
And then that's the best kind.
Yes.
Okay.
So there are some from, I know, and there are many companies. I don't want to recommend one or the other.
Darn, that's what I was hoping.
Honeywell has a good one. If you go Amazon and just say Honeywell HEPA filter, you'll see like $300 or $400 Canadian. And there are quite a few different varieties. Just put one of them. They also have charcoal filters too. So what they do, they actually take the air in, the air that you have in your room. It takes the air in and goes through those filters, and then it brings out some. So in that process, it takes out some of the pollutants, particulate matters, and also some of these spores, mold spores, and all kinds of. So that might be very good.
Okay.
But the trick is make sure that the humidity in your room is okay, because normally 30 to 60% is okay. But if you have very high humid conditions, it will lead to all kinds of mold and stuff.
Okay. We have the sun that just loves to shine into our room. It's really hot in the mornings.
No, I mean, that's not bad.
So I think it's not that it's humid. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it's just the sun.
Yes.
But so I'm not sure. But I'm going to look into it,
Yeah.
possibly. I just want to be able to breathe in, the purest
Fresh air.
oxygen. Yeah, fresh air. The whole point of this, right? So
Yes, and I think plants, don't underestimate the value of those plants,
Mhm.
because there was a study from NASA in 1980s. It's a very nice, just Google for NASA, NASA,
Mhm.
and they have a very nice article on indoor plants. And some of the indoor plants are very easy to get. You can go to any store here, even you can probably get it in some of those grocery stores.
like this one behind you.
Yeah, this is very good. Their snake plants are actually the most easy to maintain. You don't have to do anything. Snake plant.
Are those the